I think the advice that I would have is that you need to have conflict. I think that was one of the things that early on I felt like we could avoid conflict. We just had to, as an integrator would do, we just have to define our roles and we have to stay in our lanes and we have to do our jobs and then we won't have conflict. And I think the thing that I became to appreciate is, at least in my case with my visionary partner, but I see that it's a lot of times, is that they need the conflict to actually think through the problems. Like I actually finally had my visionary once we got way down the line and got much more comfortable with us, is that he said, I say things just so that you can talk me out of them sometimes. And it's like, oh my God, glad you're telling me that now. I could have talked earlier. But I think it's part of, I heard somebody say this recently and it really stuck with me. It's like a lot of times we pick up the tug of war rope and we're just pulling, and it doesn't really matter what we're pulling for. We just have to win. And you get to the point where like, I don't even care what the issue is. I just have to win now, as opposed to let's drop the rope and actually think about what are we trying to solve here, right? And I can get really good at putting together a plan and the process and the steps and figuring out what's going to trip us up. And you're really good about thinking, well, we could go 4 or 5 different directions. We don't have to go, this direction. And so I think the advice on conflict is it's going to happen. And this might sound a little weird, but we actually came up with safe words. Like we were going down the path, it's like, okay, pineapple here. We got to stop this. This is not productive. And then the other person's like, oh, okay, let's take a break. Let's come back in 5. And just funny little things like that all
Yeah.
of a sudden started to really shift the way that we appreciated one another. I wouldn't say it was easy ever, but I would say that once we started realizing conflict was just part of how we got to the other side, then we could actually think about it differently. Again, wasn't always easy, wasn't always productive, but at least it was not relationship breaking, which sometimes it felt like it was.